Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Monday, March 6, 2023, and I kind of started with some articles about really news that to me is quite ridiculous. And the first article I got, it is a Dutch article because it's about the Dutch IRS, so the taxes. We here in the Netherlands, apparently it's now the time to fill in everything. But there are a lot of disruptions going on, so people aren't able to fill in their taxes. And the interesting article was that this been happening for 18 years. And they also mentioned in that article it's most likely going to take 3 more years before the systems are completely aligned again. So you can just imagine this happening in a company, a normal company. People would be fired. Incompetent, all these people they would have gotten rid of, but not at the IRS here. No, they just keep all those people in place, all these old systems, which they've been struggling with for 18 years. It is just ridiculous. Well, another ridiculous article, also from a Dutch, how to say this, Dutch website, Scientias. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Even in Dutch, I'm not sure. It is incredible. This is about air pollution that is caused by plants. Yes, by plants. You thought they were there to clear the air and help us breathe, but no, plants are actually causing pollution. It is getting insane. Just plain ridiculous. But unfortunately, they're just throwing out there all kinds of things, making it sound very scientifically, like it's backed by science. But this is, of course, in my eyes, complete nonsense. Another thing, and this is the last one in the this news that I thought was just ridiculous, is something very interesting. It's from 9 News. It's a BNR podcast where they talked about what's been going on the past 3 years and that it apparently escaped from a lab. And I do want to, explain that I do not believe in that things can just go around. I believe in a bioweapon that's been created and actually forcefully put out, so it's done on purpose. I just wanted to mention that because I do get a lot of reaction that people actually think that I believe that it would just escape. It didn't just escape. It was purposely made and it's been purposely distributed. That's my eyes. That's how I see it. That's how I view that. What's been going on the past 3 years. But anyway, this was a podcast about this, and there apparently one of the people talking was very worried that apparently people that are thinking differently, more in the independent media, have been saying this for 3 years about, of course, it's actually been escaped from the lab. I've mentioned this. There's been a lot of talk in the media about this. And she was very worried, like, why do these people know more than we do and more than what I know? And it's just like, yeah, why is that? That's interesting, isn't it? Maybe you should listen more to people in the independent media. Maybe they do know more than you. Maybe we're all psychics and, clairvoyant and things like that. But it's interesting that they actually put that out in a podcast. And then the thing I looked at first is actually the energy of the farmers here in Europe, so to speak, in the Netherlands, Belgium, Europe. In Belgium, they actually stood up on, I think, March 3rd. 5,000 tractors went to Brussels. All these farmers united. It was beautiful to see. I saw a lot of clips. We have here in the Netherlands, March 11th, there will be this big stand from the farmers against what's going on from our governments. There was an article I mentioned was in the Netherlands again. There was a province here in the Netherlands that apparently thought it was necessary to inform farmers that their farms will be gone by 2030. Interesting date. And so the farmers were very confused, like what's going on? Why is that? What are the arguments? They were at some meeting from the province. The people working there, of course, they're governmental people. Well, they couldn't say. There were no arguments. And there were nothing about prices, nothing like that. So you can just see how the people here or at least the government here in the Netherlands is treating their farmers. They have not, how to say this, properly, how do you say this, really prepared themselves for this. So they're just sending out things like, yeah, we're going to take away your farm by 2030, but we have no arguments why that is, and we can't tell you what you're actually going to, get paid for. We don't have any answers to that, just that we're going to take away your farms. That's it. Completely ridiculous. The province apologized for their communication skills, like, sure, right. So there's a lot of confusing. It's very fusion. There's very chaotic and hectic, and it should tell you all you need to know how the Dutch people and the government, how the Dutch government is treating their farmers. And I believe that is worldwide. So there are a lot of things going on for farmers. They, of course, the dark energies want to get rid of the farmers. But I got a card reading for the energy just of the farmers in general here in Europe. What's going on there? We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Lover card in the past, Lover's card. We have the Moon underneath the Three of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Swords for the near future, the future. And we have the Knight of Cups, just to clarify. So it's going to be quite tough here in Europe, at least for the farmers. They're going to try to put pressure on them. They'll feel powerless. So it's very, very important that they unite, that the farmers unite, because that will turn things in the right direction. That will shape things up. A new direction is coming. There's still a lot of confusion going on, a lot of fear. And I just want to emphasize, especially also for, just farmers in general, there is no point to compromise. It's not like, well, we'll give up some farms and then everything is going to be all right. They want all the farmers gone. So you better fight for what you have now, because they're really coming for it all. There is no compromising here. They have an agenda. They want to get rid of the farmers. They want to, create some tri-state city. They want to take over the food production. They want people, eating bugs and things like that. They just really want to get rid of all these farmers. So the farmers for quite, the near future, it's going to get tough. It's going to feel like powerless, like they can't go on anymore. It's almost like, what's the point? And it's very important that something will be given to them, something will be created. If I'm not mistaken, so I've read some reactions that people reacted on my videos, that other people looked at the energy of the farmers as well, at least in the Netherlands, and there's most likely going to be a court case. I'm not sure if that's the case. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Something needs to happen, and that will prove, or things will come out about this climate hoax and all the nonsense around this. And that will help out. So something will be given in a way. So something will be created. It will create a different opportunity to get out of this. I truly believe we are heading towards a new world with a completely different way of looking at farmers, looking at nature, dealing with food, dealing with, all the things. It will be very, very different. But right now it's going to get very tough for the farmers. They really try to put pressure on them, make them feel powerless. So it's very, very important that they unite. And I do believe more and more farmers are uniting. Very, very important. That will change things in the right direction. That will bring in change. And of course that the people, from Netherlands and of course in Belgium, just around the world, you support their farmers. Without farmers, there's no food. It's very simple. We need farmers. So it's very important also for the people, of course, in the countries to support their farmers. So this is the energy I got for the farmers. The other thing I wanted to look at was something I read this morning from Storm Rider, and it was Europe on high alert for Germany, France, Netherlands for possible deep state chemical toxic bioweapons attack on farmlands. So this is interesting. I just wanted to take a look at that, if that really was the case in Europe. I'm of course looking more like Netherlands, Europe, Belgium, but just in Europe in general, if people have to be afraid of that. It's always good to be prepared, to have some, food with you, just some things that are, if something happens, that you have something to fall back on. But I was interested in that. And I also mentioned in my Dutch video here in the Netherlands, a lot of farms with chickens, they've been taken out because of all the things popping up there. And I do believe that that's a bioweapon as well. So things are going on. But I just wanted to look if we really have to be afraid of like this incredible toxic thing happening with land here in Europe, with farmers' land. So the first thing I got was the Queen of Cups, the 3 of Wands for the central card. I've got the 5 of Wands in the past, and I have the 10 of Swords underneath the 3 of Wands, and I've got the World card, and I have the Knight of Wands for the near future. To me, this feels like we do not have to be truly afraid of that. I believe the white hats are helping out to make sure that if things happen, it's not going to get completely out of hand. And we are moving towards this beautiful new world. So to me, this feels like we don't have to be afraid of it. We can just kind of sit back and wait if things really are going to happen or not. I believe there's a decision already been made that it's not going to be in this humongous way as what's happening, of course, in the States with these train derailments. That's not going to happen, most likely here in Europe. It can still maybe happen, but not at a large scale. Not like massively going to pollute or cause, cause havoc. That's not a feeling I'm getting. So, especially with these cards, I believe the white hats are protecting that. Still, some things can happen, but it's not going to be on this large scale. So don't be afraid of that. Just watch and see what's going to happen and rely on your intuition and trust that everything is going to be all right. But it is important to be prepared. If something's going to happen, just see what's going on. Just make sure you have something in the house just in case things are happening. Or it's always good to be prepared, but don't be afraid, because it's very important that we don't let fear take over. It's important to trust life, trust God, trust your connection with God. Understand you are a child of God and you are protected. We are going into this new beautiful world, and it's very important that we trust that everything is going to be all right. This is also a card about trusting, just letting things be, not trying to control everything. And I think that's very important now. We are in the process of just watching and seeing things unfold and not letting it hurt us so much or letting it trigger us so much. Things come up, then you can look at it, embrace it, do shadow work, and then really just grow from there. But don't let this fear hold you back in any way. We need to trust that everything's going to be all right, because then we will create that everything is going to be all right. Our energies are the most important thing in this case. I want to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.